Okay, what have I got here for you today? I'm Martin Sadler from Dent-Remover and I'm going to show you guys how I repair this mini quarter panel using the Paintless Dent Removal techniques. The dent is about the size of a football. So I hope you enjoyed this video, grab a brew and enjoy. Okay, let's have a look at this dent and I'm going to explain to you how I'm going to repair this. So the dent itself does look like the type of dent that's just going to pop out. So people can be tempted to do this, and although you will get somewhere, you're definitely not going to be able to fully repair it. And that's because when the dent comes out, it's going to leave these kind of wiggles around the dent. It's kind of like a halo around the dent will still need repairing. So for me, what I need to do with these areas is I need to use a lot of hammer and knockdown work to hammer it down and blend it back into its shape so there's no more ripples on show by the eye. In order to get to the back of this dent, I need to take this rear lamp cluster out. So I'm using a plastic spreader, okay, because this chrome trim has to come off, and this will reveal some torque screws which I need to obviously unscrew, and the light cluster will come out. There we go, and then the electrical connector, push that in like that, and there we go. And I've noticed on these are really good. They have the Union Jack flag in there. Look at that, very good. Okay, that's interesting. So it's fully open on the inside, but there's also some inner framework, and if I was to take the air out of this and wedge it between the inner frame and the back of the damage, I reckon by pumping this back up, I can reduce this dent quite a lot. I did say that I could have put my hand behind there and pushed it out, but the thing is, with my hand there, it's quite sharp. Even though it's a bit soft, it's still quite sharp. But with this, it'll mould to the back of the dent, but it'll push it all out a lot more evenly. So let's get the air out of this and stick it behind, give it a warm up and see how it goes. Right, that's about enough. Let's pop the inflator back on there, the pump, and stick it in the panel. We're going to get it all nice and warm first. Right, let's start pumping it up. Right, bit of cold glue on here. This is the DB Dental's Hulk Smash Slide Hammer and cold glue. So let's have a look. Let's see if it's gonna smash this dent out. Nice. Go down there a bit. All right, nice one. Okay, so this has come out pretty much how I expected it to. Majority is just popped out, just come out nice and easy, and I'm just left with some crown work here, a few lows, but majority of it's just crown work. So I'm going to get the hammer and knockdown out now and give it a good tapping. Okay, what a transformation. So like I said before, we've got the crowned area. I've just highlighted this with the red, so we've got a good crown at the top, a crown here, crown there, and a little bit down below. We've got actually there's two down there, and it just goes up here a little bit. So those are the bits that I need to knock down with a hammer and knockdown. Okay, this will release the tension, and then that will help me to lift up these low areas that are highlighted in green. And those highlighted green areas, or the low areas, is going to be repaired using the PDR tool and a soft tip on the end. Pop it through there and then just very gently massage the dent out from behind. Here we go. Hammer and knockdown, Crow Carb, Shane Jack's hammer. If you see my other videos, you'll tend to see that I use the same gear all the time. So stuff like this, the hammer, knockdown, the bars. I pretty much use it all the time, okay? So it just means that these tools are really good for the job. So I'm using the hammer direct sometimes. This is a plastic or rubber coated tip. I can be quite accurate with this as well as using the knockdown. This crown is coming out very nice. Don't have to put a lot of force through the hammer to get this metal moving. It's very thin. Very light taps. And I'm always moving my head as well because I'm using the line reflection now, the line board, just letting the lines pass through the damage, and where the lines go slightly tighter together, that means that it still needs knocking down. Okay, that's enough for that area. I'm going to move somewhere else and tap something else down. Go with this one down here. Okay, and then another bit. Just finding all these small crowned areas, just these little ripples, they all need tapping down, but it will help me repair this in a few minutes' time. Right, just get this out of the way and change the direction, or change the position of this board. Get my inspection board on there first. Right, just move up here a little bit now. Now that I've changed the direction, putting my board to the opposite side, I can see that really it needs lifting up with the bar. So I'm going to be using this bar. This is my favourite of all time, double bend screw tip bar. Okay, double bend screw tip. And then this tip is from Metal Medic, okay? It's quite it's a hard rubber tip, but because it's quite wide, it enables me to lift up a lot of metal rather quickly. So, right, slide this behind the damage. Going to be levering off the inner frame and give it a few light tweaks, okay? So I'm lifting the lows up, and that is going to help me tap this top crown down. I could have tapped the top crown down first, but I just think this way is going to be better. There's many ways to approach a repair like this, and I know a lot of techs may knock the crowns down first, and that displaced metal will flow into the low areas and reduce them. But I personally like to get a PDR tool in and behind to see what easy metal I can lift up. And then once these areas are up, I'll then see to the crowned areas. I find that the crowns repair a lot better as the tension in the panel has been reduced. There's no wrong way as long as you fix the damage to a high quality. Okay, so I think the low areas have come up enough for me to start tapping them back down with a hammer and knockdown. So let me show you what I'm on about. I've pulled up the low areas using the PDR bar, and now I'm left with these very slight crowns. So there's one there, one down there, one up here, and then the main one which is running along there. It might be difficult to see it on the camera, but basically what we're looking for is the lines to go together. So the lines pinching together from a reflection, and that's where the crowns are. So you might be able to see that one there, or you can see that one. And this is where the skill comes in, okay? So it's easy to just pop a dent out, and it does look good, and you know, and you think you've really got the damage, you think you've really repaired it, but you haven't. Got all these little wiggly bits, and this is where the skill comes in to repair damage like this and get it absolutely flawless. Going back in there with the crow carb, the flat nose lever knockdown, and start knocking these crowned areas down. And then once they've slightly disappeared, onto the next one. And as you can see, I'm not knocking it hard, very light taps. Okay, that one looks all right. Go up here now. Move again. And again. And now I need to move the board. I'm going to go up the top now here, so I just need to lift up the board a little bit and just change my position slightly. And if you can see it, there is a crown about here, just above where my finger is. You see where the natural curve of the panel just goes a bit tighter, so that means that the curve is bunched up a little bit. You need to be very, very particular with this type of repair at on this radius, because you will see it a mile away without the lights on there, natural reflection. It'll look like there's a flat patch on this curved area from a distance. I filmed this part in time-lapse so you can see the amount of time and effort that it takes to reshape this panel using the blending technique. It's similar to having a sheet of creased foil and trying to smooth all the creases out until you have no imperfections. You definitely need patience for this part of the repair. Okay, so I'm not far off now. Just been doing a bit of tapping from a few different angles, just trying to blend out this panel as much as possible. I need to go back in with the PDR bar, but this time I'm going to take off this large tip and I'm going to pop on a smaller tip. And this is, it's a plastic soft cap, okay, so I can be a bit more accurate with this. And also, I'm going to be using a plastic bullet tip as well. Okay, so this I can be a lot more accurate still with this. So swap it over, put it on a PDR bar, stick it in the hole, and then fine tune it. Here's where I'm going to start pushing, where the black lines thicken slightly, highlighting the low areas. Lovely jubbly. And then what I need to do is match the PDR tip with a knockdown. So I've got them all in here, my little kangaroo pouch. There we go. That's a nice sharp knockdown, okay? So I can be super accurate with this. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the reflection of the lines onto the panel, and you'll notice that there's some kind of orange peel. Well, what I need to do is tap down the slight imperfections and blend it all the way back into the orange peel. So by using a tip like this, I can just pick out those tiny little bits and blend it all out. Very, very slight waves that I can see, but I'm nearly there. Just looking at the panel from a few different angles, so from downwards, upwards, I can see a slight low there, whereas I wouldn't see it from this angle. So it's always best to cross-check. So what I mean by cross-checking is looking at the panel, inspecting it from a few different angles. So straight across and then up from up downwards, or from crisscross. So looking down that way, up that way, and then swapping and looking that way and that way. Okay, there's just such a tiny little bit here that I'm not happy with. So, you know, repairing from a few different angles, I'm not happy with that little bit. So I'm going to pop the board onto the opposite side and put that sharp plastic bullet tip on the bar and then lift that bit up. Here we go, I'm on the final stage of the repair. The imperfections are very faint, so I've highlighted the area that I'm fixing. And then I'm moving around the panel, just tidying up and finishing off this repair. I think I'm about done. Shall we have a look? Get my, just push this out of the way. There we go. Have a look with my inspection board. I'll tell you what, I'll let you have a look as well. Right, so here we go. Go from the top with the inspection board across the top there, and then we'll come down a little bit in line with the handle. Back down again. A little bit further down. Got a bit of a bow. It's a bit flexible on this line board. There we go, I'll tighten it up. Excellent. Right, let's have a look from the opposite direction. We'll use the lines on the board, on the wall first, so go along this bit first, and then we'll go like that. And now use this bit around here. Use the bigger inspection board across the top. And then through the meat of the panel. There we go. We use natural reflection. Okay, so that is this panel looking dent-free. No ripples, no distortion, and that is one clean panel. The only thing I've got to do now is give it a quick polish up. There's a few light hairline scratches here. I've been tapping around here, but I think these are from maybe the impact or just general wear and tear. So I'm going to polish this area up, get it looking all nice and shiny, pop the rear light back in, and then give it back to my customer. So I'm Martin Sadler from Dent-Remover. Thanks so much for watching until the end. I do really appreciate it. I hope to see you on the next one, but for now, see you later. Cheers.